So viewers, the cash controversy involving the Delhi High Court Judge Justice Yashwant Varma is only getting bigger. The Chief Justice of India has constituted a 3-member committee for conducting an inquiry into the allegations that cash was found at Justice Varma's residence. In fact, Times Now has accessed the report that the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court had submitted to the Chief Justice of India regarding the whole matter. And in this report, the Chief Justice has also attached a report from the Delhi Commissioner of Police, which categorically mentions that half-burnt sacks of cash were seen at the storeroom of Justice Varma's official residence, where the fire was reported and later doused. The Chief Justice has called for a deeper probe into the matter. Navika Kumar's Friday Super Scoop has been confirmed. Remember, the group editor-in-chief was the first to break the explosive news that burnt sacks filled with wads of cash were found in the storeroom located near Judge Varma's residence.
Well, breaking news coming in to us at this time is the blockbuster breaking news. Let's tell you what really happened on the night of holy and the unholy charges that followed. The judge's family called the Tughlaq Road police station on 14th March and reported a fire. The police reached the house of the judge and went to the outhouse behind the main residence area. In the storeroom, they found sacks. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, not one or two, but several sacks of notes that had been stored in that storeroom. Several sacks. Please note, several sacks. And sources have revealed that so many sacks could not have any less than 45 to 50 crore rupees. Half of these notes seem to be half burned. Some sacks were damaged. The police recovered, and there was mobile footage that was recorded. This mobile video of sacks and burnt notes was sent to the top cops. Simultaneously, the fire services who had been called by the police arrived and then doused the fire. The police informed the topmost levels of the government following this, following which this entire issue and the video was forwarded to the Collegium of the Supreme Court. We understand that some family members of Justice Yashwant Varma were standing when the police arrived, witness to those sacks of notes that were available, but due to the fire they were asked to go inside the main residence, and then the police took this entire material into their custody. So far, no decision has been taken on the transfer of this judge, but sources say that the cash to the tune of 45 to 50 crores was found in that outhouse, which had caught fire due to a short circuit. In fact, since the news of that fire has come out, the judiciary has been on fire, in a manner of speaking.
So this had been confirmed in the Super Scoop at 9 p.m. on Times Now. But let's tell you what the report mentions to the Chief Justice of India. Times Now has accessed this report, and it says very clearly, in the said room, after the fire was brought under control, 4 to 5 half-burnt sacks were found containing remnants of Indian currency. And this is the video that had been recorded as well, mobile footage that showed the burnt Indian currency that was found at the outhouse of Justice Varma. My colleagues Bhavtosh Singh, Priyank Tripathi as well as Dipankar are joining us on the broadcast with the details of what has happened, the questions that emerged. Swapnil Kothari, senior advocate, will also be joining us shortly. First, let me take this across to Bhavtosh. Bhavtosh, there are several versions have come in. The questions still remain unanswered. What happened after the day of the fire? Was a report filed? Do we have details of the amount of cash that has been found? Was there any delay in the action that was taken? And the two versions concerning the transfer as well. Let's first speak about the transfer proposal of Judge Yashwant Varma, because a lot of questions have been raised. The Supreme Court says that the transfer proposal was unrelated to the ongoing inquiry, but the version of the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court says something else. What are the details of the two versions, and what do we know as of now?
Yes, Pratima, in fact, there is a lot of ambiguity and there is a lot of confusion regarding the transfer of Justice Varma, because even in the statement that was issued a few days back, the Supreme Court tried to de-link the two issues. They said that Justice Varma is being transferred primarily because of his seniority, and that the inquiry commission is something which is different. But it now appears that there was, in fact, a proposal by Delhi High Court Chief Justice to transfer him. Having said that, Justice Varma is now, in fact, being relieved of all judicial work. As far as the inquiry is concerned, police inquiry is concerned, no inquiry has taken place. But interestingly, Pratibha, you are right that the police has not made any seizure memo, at least publicly, officially, the police has not made any seizure memo. But the stash of cash that is being seized from the residents, that in fact could have questions could be raised as to why no seizure memo has been made. So this is a huge amount of cash that has been seized. This is not no ordinary amount of cash that has been seized. There are sacks and sacks of cash that were seized when the fire broke out. And ordinarily, a seizure memo would have been prepared, but the very fact that a denial was issued by the Delhi Fire Service chief, in fact, raises more questions than answers. Whether police has made a seizure memo, one has to wait and see. No FIR has been filed officially by the police, but the ambiguity in the case, the opaqueness in the case has led to more questions. The inquiry report has been made public by the Supreme Court and it is now out and open. But Justice Varma on his part has now said that the cash does not belong to him, and he has this right to give his version of the entire incident. But a 3-member panel has been set up. They will in fact go through the entire evidence. Delhi High Court has also approached the Delhi police with CDR details and other details of all the personnel who were posted there. But there is also a lot of confusion as to what happened next day, that is on 15th of March. What happened to the cash? Did the cash go missing? So these are the questions that needs now to be answered not only by the judiciary but also by the Delhi police as well as by the fire department.
Absolutely. So why are there so many questions and why is there so much mystery around what happened, and why was there silence for so many days? Almost a week after the fire took place is when reports started trickling in, and he had been transferred. The Supreme Court says that it was unrelated. The Delhi High Court Chief Justice says that it was connected to it. So Priyank, when the fire was reported, just to put things in perspective and to get a timeline of what actually happened and what the official records say in the case. The Delhi police got a call from the family members, after which they conducted searches where these huge amount of cash was found. But there's still no record of the amount, the official record of the amount of money that was found at the residence.
Yeah, absolutely right, Pratibha. If you see, on 14th night, around 11:43, the Delhi Fire Services received a call, and the distance from the fire station to the location of the judge was approximately 3 kilometers. So before the fire engines could have reached, the Delhi Police PCR van and the first responders from the Delhi Police local police unit were already present on the spot. This has been mentioned by the Delhi Fire Chief officers. On the other side, within 3 minutes of time period, the fire was doused down, and when the cooling process was being followed, which is a process then the fire department officers go for the thorough check that whether there is some kind of flame which is still left over or not. They found that huge amount of cash was lying there. Then we got to know that this particular information was shared by the Delhi Police senior rank officers to the office of the CJI, which finally led to this kind of information, and the Delhi Police Commissioner's office was the one which has forwarded this particular video to the CJI of the, I beg your pardon, to the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court. But what is very alarming, that in normal person's case, the Delhi police could have informed the IT department, they could have themselves initiated the inquiry, but in this case, since he is a sitting judge and the second most senior ranked judge in the Delhi High Court, he was then the senior ranked judge, then the Delhi police had to seek permission from the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court to file any information or a false information report, which is generally called FIR in this particular case. So double standard according to the Delhi police was followed, because the law is such that they need to seek permission from the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court to file an FIR against any sitting judge. Then we saw that series of information being hidden by all the senior rank officers, and how the Delhi High Court actually reacted on this situation. Actually, actually came out before us yesterday itself, then when Justice Upadhyay from the Delhi High Court submitted a detailed inquiry report, which was also comprising about with this particular video of the seizure of the cash which was found from the guard room. In the later day, yesterday itself, we got to know that how Justice Varma has tried to defend himself. He has said that his living area, where he and his family members live, is certainly a bit away from this particular guard room, and there is a wall-like structure which has been placed by the construction workers so that the guards can be kept away, and he does not have anything to do, or neither his family members have to do anything with this cash seizure. So the investigation has certainly gone up in the hand of the 3 sitting judges inquiry committee, which is comprising with Justice Sheel, who is from the Punjab and Haryana High Court. Then we have Justice G.S. Sandhuwalia, who is from the Himachal High Court, and Anu Shivaraman, who is from the Karnataka High Court. So these 3 sitting judges will be now further trying to probe the information that what exactly happened, how the cash reached there, and whether the cash was certainly linked to the decision which was made by Justice Varma in the past, or it was going to influence some massive decision which he was going to take in the near future.
Okay, all right. Will exemplary action be taken? Because now questions will be raised on every judgment by the judge. This raises questions on the entire judiciary and the opaqueness of it. It comes at a time when there have been a lot of calls already for more transparency in the judiciary. Dipankar is also live with us. Dipankar, amid so many questions coming in, every day is going to be very, very crucial. As of now, we are told that the Delhi High Court, when apprised of the situation, has asked for a detailed report from the Delhi police officials on what they found at the official residence of the judge.
Well, yes, a detailed report has to be called from the Delhi police in order to see as to what were the seizures that were made after the fire was doused at the guard room, which was placed next to the living area of the Delhi High Court judge. And after that report has filed and the inquiry commission has gone through the report that is being given by the Delhi police, and all the evidences are perused by the inquiry commission that has been set up by the Chief Justice of India, which comprises of the 3 Chief Justices of the High Courts, then only we can see as to what further action can be done. This report, the report of the inquiry commission, will be then served to the Chief Justice of India, who will go through it and then take further action on it. But all in all, the report that has to be submitted by the Delhi police will have to be seen as to what seizure was done. It may reveal as to how many sacks were there, how much money was there. So we'll have to wait and watch as to what report the Delhi police gives. But there has been a wave for seeking for further inquiry. There has been a wave which is also saying that the trust into the judiciary is diminished by this act which has come into the fore. But we'll have to wait and watch as to what further happens after the inquiry report is given to the Chief Justice of India by the 3 judges inquiry committee that has been set up.
Okay, all right. Why is there so much mystery around it? That's the question. Why is there no transparency in this? Swapnil Kothari is also with us, and he was talking about the action that could be initiated and whether there has been a delay or not. Swapnil Kothari, firstly, we had 2 versions of whether cash had been found at the residence or not. Initially, several officials saying that no, there was nothing unusual that was found, then saying no, there were sacks of cash that were found. Now, video evidence as well, suggesting mobile footage that shows the half-burnt cash that was found and several sacks of it found at the official residence. Then there are 2 versions of the transfer as well. First saying the transfer was unrelated, then saying the transfer was actually related to this case. Why is there so much mystery around it?
First of all, it's difficult for the judges to judge their own. That's number one. Number two, obviously, the decision has come to institute an inquiry, which is a welcome decision. There is no question that this transfer was related to this controversy. It had nothing to do with the regular transfers. I do not buy that for a minute. Number 3, Pratibha, one has to examine whether this was a collection of several judgments that you amassed this sort of a wealth, or whether this was for the future also some judgments that were going to take place or some decisions that are going to be made. One would have to examine his roster. as to what was there on his list of, every day, the cause list, as we call it in the court system. So what all cases were there, whether there were any high-profile rich cases of rich corporations, etc. Fourthly, most important, Pratibha, one has to examine also if he's got any offshore accounts. Because this is wads of cash found. What stops him from taking money outside the jurisdiction of this country? If there are any transfers in Mauritius, etc. So his entire bank records, his tax returns, etc., everything has to be examined from scratch. I'm sure the tax returns are not going to disclose anything more than his regular remuneration and perks, etc. Because I'm sure, he would have been cautious about this. But the fact remains that there is no question that this was a cash for sale, meaning cash for judgments scam. There is no question about it. You cannot amass this sort of a money ever in your entire life as a judge. 50 crores is way too huge, even if aap puchte nahi paise hai aapke paas. Even if you have if your ancestral wealth, still it would be in kind, in your accounts, in your bank accounts, not in terms of cash. And the very fact that you choose to distance away from that, saying that it's in my outhouse, etc., means clearly there is a clear shroud of suspicion on that, no question about it. This has to be examined threadbare, Pratibha, threadbare. Because imagine if this is the situation with one judge being caught. There have been reports of corruption in the judiciary at the lower levels. But this is now we are talking at the High Court level. Times are different. The climate is different. The social media is different. The temptations are different. The moral fabric of the entire country as such, with religious places being defiled, with up north, then with several inappropriate statements made by stand-up comedians, etc. The entire moral fabric of this country is changing.
Absolutely. And you've raised an important point. Is this just the tip of the iceberg? 50 crores in cash that to be found at his residence in currency, in hard cash. Does it mean that there's much more to it? Those are the questions that remain. And of course, the larger question of whether the judiciary is above any public scrutiny. Are the judges behind a hollowed space where public scrutiny can't even reach them? These questions can't even reach them, and that's the bigger question. Swapnil Kothari, Bhavtosh, Priyank, as well as Deepankar, thank you for joining us with all those inputs. With that, we're slipping into a very short break here, but this remains a top focus story on Times Now as we continue to get you the latest in the investigations in the case.